Değerli konuklar, şimdi de tema konuşmasını yapmak üzere değerli bir ismi. Alkışlarınızla UBS Baş Ekonomisti Paul Donovan'ı sahneye davet ediyorum. Dear guests, I would like to invite a valuable name, UBS Chief Economist Paul Donovan, to the stage, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you here today. If I may quote from a very famous British science fiction television program, Doctor Who, the 21st century is when everything changes. We are starting what economists call the fourth industrial revolution. This is AI, of course, but also digitization, robotics, automation, social media. And this is going to transform how economies and how societies operate. But, and I am very aware of the fact I am speaking at a digitization conference, technology is not important to the economy. I don't care about technology. What matters is how we use the technology. And that means that the most important thing for an economy to get right, as we have just heard from the previous speakers, is the people that use the technology. The only way as a company or as a country you will succeed in the fourth industrial revolution is by following a very simple rule. Right person, right job, right time. We need to make sure we have well-qualified people in place using technology properly. The changes that we go through will improve efficiency. We would not invest in technology if it did not improve efficiency, of course. But we should recognize that not every sector becomes more efficient with technology. Technology can make some things worse. As somebody who deals with data, I am now finding it more difficult to get information as companies protect data from AI. So we do also have some inefficiencies that are created. There are, I think, three key concerns around the fourth industrial revolution and economics: employment, inflation, and politics and geopolitics. For employment, the technological change will destroy jobs. There is no question. Every technological change in 250 years has reduced employment in some areas. But of course, technology will also create jobs. And it creates jobs in three different ways. Firstly, we create employment directly. Artificial intelligence requires computer chips, Someone has to make them. It requires people to frame the questions. Somebody has to do that. So there are direct jobs created. Technology creates jobs indirectly as well. So, for example, if we think about film and television, the audiovisual industry, 20 years ago, very few people could earn a living doing film and television because the costs, the barriers to entering that sector were very high. It cost a lot of money to make a film. But today, technology has changed that. Today, anyone with one of these can make a film. Social media has allowed enormous numbers of people to make money from audio-visual entertainment. 10,000 followers on TikTok can earn you $2,000 a month in income. It does not work with LinkedIn followers. I have tried. So we have lowered barriers to entry and created new jobs in the process. And finally, because we become more efficient, because we change society, we will create even more jobs in unrelated areas. In 1930, the famous British economist Lord Keynes, John Maynard Keynes, wrote a book called The Economic Consequences for Our Grandchildren. And in this book, he predicted in 1930, within 100 years, so by 2030, people will be working a 15-hour week. Now, I don't know about you, but at UBS, we are not working 15-hour weeks. 15-hour days, yes, not 15-hour weeks. But Keynes was right, in the sense that in the last 100 years, we now spend a lot less time doing unpaid chores. So we have seen washing machines reduce the time spent cleaning clothes, new forms of cooking technology reducing time spent preparing meals. And that has meant the amount of time for leisure has gone up. And in the last 100 years, we have created a leisure industry that did not exist in 1930. So as we become efficient, we will create jobs in the leisure and tourism sector as people have more time to spend there. So yes, technology destroys jobs, but it also creates jobs. For inflation, efficiency should mean lower inflation. We will see company costs coming down. And I can give a personal example of how technology is already working to lower costs. Before I started work as an economist at UBS over a third of a century ago, I had a job as a student as a supermarket checkout operator in the United Kingdom. And I was really good as a supermarket checkout operator. I could scan 32 items a minute at my till. I was excellent. This is just as well, because today I am once again working as a supermarket checkout operator. Because when I go to my local M&S Simply Food in London to buy my evening meal, there are 17 checkouts. Every one is self-service. The technology allows me to work for Marks and Spencer Simply Food for free, because I have to act as a checkout operator with my own purchases. But that is lowering the cost, creating efficiency, helping to lower inflation. There is, however, an interesting possibility, which is that the technology will make inflation redundant. It will make inflation impossible to calculate. Because increasingly, technology allows sellers to charge different prices to different people. So let us say you visit Amazon. You decide you want to buy a copy of my latest book, Profit and Prejudice, still widely available, ideal gift for friends and family. There is now no guarantee that the price Amazon shows you is the same as the price Amazon shows you, because Amazon knows how keen you are to buy a book. With artificial intelligence and online retail, everybody could pay a different price. It is the economics of the bazaar. Artificial intelligence is negotiating prices with buyers. And that means that measuring inflation becomes impossible if no two people have the same price. A complication we will have to deal with. So inflation, I think, generally comes down as we become more efficient, as technology lowers company costs, but it also creates complications in economic measurement. Finally, politics and geopolitics will be affected by these changes. The world that I have described has people doing better and people doing worse. And the people who suffer from technological change are very understandably not happy. And they will want someone to blame. It's not my fault I'm losing my job. Well, it isn't. You are losing your job because complicated economic forces are changing the world. But nobody wants to hear that it is complicated. We want a simple solution. It's not my fault I'm losing my job. Foreigners must be stealing it. Immigrants are changing the economy, whatever it is. It is very easy then to move from a scapegoat economics to prejudice politics. Vote for me, we build a wall, we will keep them out. This was Brexit in the UK. It is Le Pen in France, Alternative for Deutschland in Germany. We are seeing this live in the US election today. And one of the easiest groups to blame is the foreigner. The British have been blaming the French for everything for 1,000 years. That's different. It is always the fault of the French. But the problem is that as we put up barriers, we prevent that most important thing: right person, right job, right time. Because we need to make sure that we are employing the best people with the best skills to make use of technology, regardless of where they're from or who they are. Ultimately, I am optimistic for the future. I think we can avoid the prejudice politics. I think we can adapt to the changes that technology provides. And the efficiency that technology gives us will raise living standards at a lower cost to the environment. What gives me most hope is the flexibility and the enthusiasm of the younger generation, Generation Z as it's sometimes known. I think Gen Z is going to save the world, one TikTok dance at a time. Thank you very much.
Ufuk açan konuşmalarından dolayı değerli UBS Baş Ekonomisti Paul Donovan'a çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Kuvvetli bir alkış alalım mı kendisine? Ve aynı zamanda bu süreçte desteklerini esirgemeyen UBS ekibine de ayrıca çok teşekkür ediyoruz.